What does the comic industry need more of? What I mean by that is that we've got lots of creators, we've got writers, we've got artists, we've got editors, we've got fans, we've got comic shop retailers and distributors, we've got all these different things. What do comics need more of at this particular point? And this is a bit of an esoteric comment. I mean, obviously, sales. That's what they need. Yeah, sure. Yes, comics definitely need more sales. But there's more to it than that. And that's what I'm going to try and tackle today. Hey everybody, this is Perch. This doing this video in the midst of this health crisis. Um, it's weird out there. I mean, you've got this kind of half step in, half step out. People kind of wanting to go to work, not going to work. People don't really want to go to work at all, but then they kind of feel like they have to. And what's going to happen to the economy? It's a strange time to be doing anything right now. But these things will pass. But comics. So here's what got me thinking about this topic, coming at it from a bit of a weird place. I go on Twitter, and some days are very positive. I post some things, and I feel like, hey, it's a good, inspiring day. And other days are kind of jokey. I post some saved you a click things or just some jokes, and then there's some laughter, and that's a good day. And then other days it feels like you're just on the wrong foot from the beginning. Like you come in and immediately somebody wants to start taking shots at you for not being, too much of this or too little of that. Or, this is always my worst scenario. Like a creator says something and I will reply because it comes up on the feed and I'm like, yeah, why not? I post something. And it's a kind of an innocuous comment. It just happened. Who knows when this video gets posted, actually? But Colleen Doran makes a comment about Blockbot. Somebody said she used a Blockbot, and Colleen Doran says she doesn't use a Blockbot. And I just kind of respond to her, that's true. She does not use a Blockbot. And this kind of manifests itself into a longer spiraling conversation. People talking about Dan Slott, who does use a Blockbot, admits it. And I say, Dan Slott, to give Dan Slott some credit, I think Dan Slott does a lot of poor things like the kind of the fake message board accounts and the weird trolling and all the rest. Clearly from these videos you've heard me, I very much disagree with blockbots for the reasons I've stated. But I'll give him credit. He admits to using a blockbot. He's like, yep, I use a blockbot and I do it against this. I mean, I'll give him credit. He's just being open about it. That's kind of nice. I wish more people were straightforward, whether I like their position or not. I admire, or no, I don't even admire is the right way, but I appreciate straightforwardness, including like, this is going to get into all the topics that demonetize, which is a good thing I don't have monetization anyway, but like the white supremacists, when they come out and they do their parades, it's like, hey, they're out there and they're doing their parade, and everybody can see it. And I'm not saying that from a doxing reason, it's just they're out there. I find that far more straightforward than the person who's like secretly doing evil racist crap in the dead of night. That's the worst. I mean, to me, that's worse than the guy marching around. Now, some might argue it's the same person. It probably is, doing both ways. But I just I like things. I'm. By the way, I'm explaining myself terribly. I went down the wrong analogy there. I like things out in the open. Just put it out in the open, and then we deal with it. That's just much better. So, at any rate, this whole kind of thread, it's the bad days on Twitter or the bad days on YouTube or whatever it happens to be that always makes me ask myself this question: what am I trying to do here? What am I bringing to comics? What am I adding to this conversation? Because it'd be very easy for me to just not, just delete the account, stop doing videos, just take that, Twitter time and Facebook time and YouTube time and just put that toward anything else. Parenting. No, oh no, I made a terrible choice. No, I mean, like, I could easily, I'm commuting right now. I could be listening to podcasts. I'm sure there's some good ones out there. I could be teaching myself a new language or a technology or something rather than doing this. But I'm doing this for a reason. It's because I love comics, because I like talking to people, because I miss some of the in-shop conversations that I used to have. And so now I'm having them this way, just kind of one-sided, but then people comment and I feel like it's not the same, but it's close. And I want my presence within comics to be net positive. And I'm sure a lot of people maybe think that and don't do it. So I'm also questioning myself. I hold very strong beliefs, and I think some of the fan behavior is bad, and some of the creator behavior is bad. And I don't want to be one of those people who's doing things that are they're causing net bad. So I'm thinking about myself, but I'm also thinking about comics as a whole. What do comics need? Well, they do need, stronger creators, and that's going to be true even if all the creators were very strong. You always want to get bigger and better and better and better. That's the nature of anything, athletics or creativity. You want your next piece of work to be better than your last piece of work. So that's always true. It's not an inflammatory statement. I made that comment once, like, I think we should all be hoping for better creators. And a couple creators came in and said, hey, quit bashing creators. I'm like, no, I'd say that even if I loved 100% of everything. I think that comics need better marketing. I've talked about that many times before. I think comics need a digital strategy, definitely needs that. Comics needs, but I think in general, comics needs more kind of positive passion. And and so what I mean by that is that I think that there's a dynamic between fans and creators and shops and distributors right now that is borderline unhealthy, if not fully unhealthy. It's there's too much of a there's super fans that love a certain creator, and then they will kind of close their eyes to any criticism, and they'll almost sycophants to that creator. And I think that's unhealthy. I see a lot of creators fall into the trap, both in the big two and in indie publishing, where they get a massive ego and they listen only to their, the people who are kind of cheering them on and everything else. And it doesn't inspire better work. It just kind of inspires, antagonistic jerk behavior. And then there's the alternative where you have this extremely aggressive, toxic relationship between fans and creators and fans, where if you are falling outside of that bubble, not the super praise bubble, then suddenly you're in the hate bubble. And the hate bubble is one where, you're a terrible fan or you're a terrible creator. You're doing things to destroy the entire industry, or you're a hate mob troll army, or it's these big words, these big kind of bigger than life descriptions of things that are not true, that are just, I mean, they're exaggerations, and they don't help anything. They don't bring people together. And in my mind, what comics needs is a healthy community. I know that there's some other video producers. I think Van Sciver and a couple other peoples have mocked this word community as this kind of, I don't know, hippie socialist utopia, or I don't know why it gets mocked exactly. And I'm sure these terms mean different things to different people. But to me, I think community means that, there's a little bit of tolerance with each other, that if somebody has an alternate view, people don't descend and just crap all over them, either direction. That a fan can say, I didn't like this issue, and they don't get labeled a Nazi. And I think that a creator can say, I don't like this political candidate, and they don't get labeled a Nazi or, or whatever it happens to be. I think that we're moving to a place where we're killing off opinions. We're killing off the ability for people to have a point of view on something. And instead, people either have to conform, or they have to go to super exaggerated opinions to try and gain attention that other way. And that polarization means that we have less ideas, we have less opinions, and in comics in particular, I think that's deadly, because comics rely on creativity and opinions and ideas. That's the nature of what it is. I mean, the whole imagination of what could happen to Batman, what could happen to Superman or Spider-Man or Captain Marvel or Miss Marvel or Starfire or whoever it happens to be, that whoever somebody is a fan of, we should be able to fan write and come up with ideas and come up with suggestions and say, this is good, this is not good, I would do it this other way. I mean, that spirit of group invention and community is a healthy one. And I see a lot of people who participate in that now in an unhealthy way. And I see a lot of creators and publishers and kind of the big people, quote unquote. They're also harming that process. And it's a little bit like steps. It's like, maybe one side goes a little bit too far in having a cranky day or saying something critical. And the other side, rather than go, hey, you know what? That person probably had a bad day. Let's just hit a reset button and start fresh tomorrow. Instead, they're like, nope, I've got to teach this person a lesson, or I'm gonna be meaner still. And then it just creates this constant circular problem. And so I think what comics are missing right now is a sense of community. We don't have the same community we have. We have bubbles, much like a lot of other things in the world. But in comics, we need to tear down those bubbles. We need to tear down those walls, tear down that wall, and create community. The funny thing about saying tear down this wall now is nobody knows who I'm talking about. Is it Berlin, or is it the Mexico border? Which direction am I talking about? Who knows? That's the cool thing about community. You don't need to know. You can just anyway. Um, I hope I try and do net good. I hope that this is that what I bring is net good. I know some people think so. Some people definitely do not. And that's okay. I guess that's a topic in and of itself. But if we could just kind of relieve the pressure a little bit and bring community back into comics more, and give everyone just a break, that they're going to be depressed or a dick or something. It's okay. Yeah, whatever. What do you think? What does the comic industry need? What do we need in order to be stronger, healthier? Yes, I skipped over a lot of things like sales, lower prices, better distributors, people to stop doxing each other and being assholes and all the rest. That's all true, and yes, sales are more important than community. But yeah, that's obvious. I think community is important too. Leave me your comments below. Let me know what you think. Like, subscribe, click the bell for notifications if you feel like being bothered, and follow me on Twitter at Comic Perch, where I'm trying to do good, I promise. And thanks for listening.